It was a fun one. I'm really excited, more than anything, for those 31 seniors that we got to recognize before the game started. They worked so hard, and some of them have been here since the day we got here. So for them to be able to enjoy a moment like that after hard work really excites me and certainly excites our team. Proud of our fans tonight. I thought they showed up and certainly made an impact. You know, you come to Oregon to play in games and moments like that, and what we've created so far this season is really special, but obviously there's still some things ahead of us. Certainly excited to see all of our fans show up in Indy and make an impact there as well. You know, also, record-setting night for a couple guys. Terrence Ferguson tying the touchdown record, or excuse me, tying or beating? I don't know. He set records tonight. He also, has a ton of receptions, and I think he leads all tight ends in receptions here at Oregon. And then the opportunity for our defense to have 10 sacks tonight and tie a school record there is pretty awesome.
Start right here on the left with Brian, front left.
Dan, 10 sacks tonight, tying a program record. What can you say about just the havoc this defense has been able to cause all season?
Yeah, really coming into the game, we didn't think we'd have that many opportunities to be able to actually rush the passer. We were anticipating some screen game and runs to maybe limit the opportunities to be able to do it. And we talked about taking advantage of the moments we did get. And I think once the score, became kind of one-sided, I think that created more opportunities for us. So, proud of those guys taking advantage of those opportunities.
All right, Zach.
Saw Tez finally get back on the field tonight. How meaningful do you think it was for him to get back for senior night to enjoy this time with his team?
Yeah, Tez, the minute he was down, he was ready to be back out there. He would have been out there sooner if we would have let him. So, I was glad that he was able to get back out there and help his team. We've got unbelievable trainers here that have helped him get back, but I'm glad that he was able to make an impact, as well as some other guys like Jordan and those guys that got out there.
Second row left, Aaron.
We talked about the impact of the line on pass plays, but I think Jonah Coleman held to 3 yards tonight. Just speak to the effort, just in the totality on, offense.
Yeah, there was a couple moments in this game where we talked about being in position to, outrush our opponent and walking at halftime. I think we certainly did that. And once you make it a passing game, I think that changes things too. And, Jonah's a really good player. He's had some great runs all season, but we were able to keep him bottled up.
Back left, Matt.
No, the season's not over yet, but can you just appreciate the 12-0 and how difficult that truly is to do?
Season's not over yet.
All right, Brian.
Of course, that was basically what I was going to ask. Just the fact that your team has been able to come in and week out and take care of business, what do you think that says about this squad and what they could be able to do in the postseason?
Yeah, we've said it several times, but being able to play our best ball at the end of the season when it matters most, I think you saw that. You saw glimpses of that from our team tonight, dominating field position, making some critical plays on special teams, offense and defense. I think everybody can recognize college football is hard. Right, it's tough to be consistent and to be resilient and consistent and win some tight games and have some battles throughout there. I think that really shows some of the character of our team.
On the left, Bill.
Dan, how have the losses to Washington over the last couple of years sat with and maybe motivated this program, not just this week, but kind of as you've kind of built the program over the last few years? And what do you think it meant to this group to get a win?
I think it meant a lot. I go to bed every night thinking about them, and I wake up every morning thinking about them. So it's nice to be able to think about a win too.
Is that true?
100%.
Back middle, Brett.
Coach, you've gotten to know some of these players over the last couple of years who've been here, some of them obviously just this season. To go 12-0 this year, just what exactly makes this group of Ducks so special in your eyes to be able to achieve this feat?
We've talked about connection a lot since I've been here, but I think this is by far our most connected team that we have. It's obviously a talented team, but I think it's unique to be able to get talent to play together. The way that our guys play unselfishly to celebrate other teammates' success, I think that you see that consistently with these guys. Regardless of the situation, that really sticks out to me with this group.
Front left, James.
If you thought about the Washington losses the past couple of years on a daily basis, Dan, what will be when that monkey is off your back? What are your thoughts after this one when you scored the most points on them in a couple of years and have such a lopsided performance?
How can we get better?
On the right, second row, Brady.
Towards the end of lopsided games this year, it felt like we've seen more of Austin Novosad. What went into the decision tonight to let Dante get some snaps, and what did you see from him?
Yeah, Dante had 4 games that we were able to utilize there and still reserve his red shirt, and now that gave him the opportunity to do that. And Austin's done a great job competing for us all year, so giving those guys both opportunities, but still being in position to reserve Dante's red shirt was a benefit.
In the middle, Tyson.
we've seen how quickly things can change in this era of college football. If just a team can be excellent one year and then having a readjustment period the next. You guys have been a good to very good football team for all 3 years you've been here. What have been the challenges of sustaining that and kind of keeping that continuity and building on that each year?
How long you got?
As much time as you do.
No, I mean, there's a ton of challenges right now in the world of college football. But I think it starts in that locker room, and you have guys that are bought in, believe in what we're doing. You continue to focus on talent acquisition and development. You focus on getting better every single day. I think that's the kind of group that we have in there right now.
In the middle, Joe.
Coach, you talked about Tez. What did you guys miss most when he was gone? And then just, similarly, what will he bring here for the playoff push?
I think he's an explosive player, and anytime he's out there in the field, he can create explosive plays. But, he maintained his energy and enthusiasm even when he wasn't out there on the field for us. He pushed the team, to be excellent. And, on the same note, he was out there, cheering on his teammates. But it's great to see him out on the field for the Ducks.
Back left.
Coach, it being senior night tonight and Dylan and Bryce being key seniors on this team, what has it been like coaching them this year and just all throughout their years and seeing them play in conference this season?
Yeah, I'm just really proud of both those guys. Two different circumstances to find their way on the field for the Ducks, and for them to maximize every opportunity that they've had, I'm really proud of them.
Right on the right.
Coach, another 2 sacks for Mateo tonight, now over 10 on the year. How have you seen him grow this year and improve as a player?
He's pretty good, isn't he? Yeah. I think the guy plays with relentless effort, and that's one of the pieces. We talked about developing that killer instinct, and, Mateo's showing that killer instinct right now, and it's become one of the hardest guys in college football to block.
Bill, right here, look. Got my eye.
It worked. Dan, you said earlier that, season's not over yet when it came to appreciating a moment like this. But as you've alluded to many times, winning is very hard. You see it every weekend, where the unexpected happens. Do you, on some level, encourage your team to try to appreciate the steps of this journey that you guys have been on? And how do you kind of balance those two things? Because, you've been you're obviously very focused on what's next in the future, but also you're in rare air here.
I always feel like you can stop and celebrate whenever the season's done. Anybody in our world, you don't get the opportunity to be satisfied, right? And that's just the reality of the world we live in. And everyone right now is going to be patting us on the back. Who cares, right? Like, it didn't matter before, it doesn't matter now. I remember early in the season when everybody was telling us how crappy we were after our first 2 games. Like, we don't care what anybody else thinks. So, do we appreciate hard work? Absolutely. But that's what it takes, right? And it doesn't guarantee anything for tomorrow. So, you have to focus on what's next.
Second row, Alex.
For Bryce specifically, he always kind of steps up in games like this. Maybe it means a little bit more to him, but 11 tackles, forced fumble, I think 2 TFLs. What has he meant to this program?
Yeah, just what he brings every single day, the definition of consistency. He plays the game the right way. Yet, the physicality that's necessary at his position, the enthusiasm that he carries onto the field. I think everything that shows up on a Saturday for Bryce is what shows up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for Bryce in the facility for us. So, extremely proud of Bryce. One of my favorite guys I've ever got to coach, just because of how he attacks each day.
Same row, Eric.
It was a 7-6 game, and then suddenly 3 minutes later, I think it was 28-6, and the offense up and down the field. Just speak to that sequence and kind of what was working there.
Yeah, I think we figured out when we were able to start, in rhythm early, and able to start on schedule to start the game, each series. We get positive yards in the first play of each series, every P and 10. It kind of led to successful drives. So trying to identify moments like that for us, make sure we're eliminating penalties. Probably still have more penalties than we want in this game. But for us to be able to stay on schedule to start, I think, it's really hard to defend us when it's 2nd and 2 and 2nd and 3, right? And you want to play for the shot, but we can also run it. I think that really opens up the entire playbook.
Front left, James.
How much have you had a chance to look at Penn State through some of your scouting of some of these opponents, like Washington, frankly, who played them earlier in the season, and what are your first impressions of them?
Yeah, we've been able to watch them a little bit through crossover, but we haven't really got the opportunity to pay attention to them as much. I know they're really tough to defend. They create a lot of different formations. I think they do a great job of utilizing their personnel. Obviously they have an elite tight end, great quarterback. They played really good defense this year. They're not afraid to pressure. So certainly have some identity traits that we've seen, but looking forward to taking a deeper dive into them.
Last two questions. We'll start with Zach, then we'll go to Brett in the back.
You've talked all year about wanting to peak at the right time. Do you feel like you guys are peaking at the right time right now? And what goes into peaking at the right time? Not too early, not too late. How do you kind of walk that line?
Well, I've never been upset if we peaked early. I mean, I don't know about peak, but if we've gotten really good early, but I do feel like this is our most complete game, right? In all three phases. And not necessarily the score indicates that because of a late score there in the game for them, but I think there was a lot of opportunities for young guys on the field to develop today. And ultimately, this is a lot more like March Madness now than it was, 2 years ago. So it's about playing consistent football at the end of the season, time after time after time. So you want to be playing your best ball at this moment. And, we're relatively healthy. We've got a team that's gotten better each week. So I think that sets up for success.
Last question in the back, Brett. Right behind you.
Coach, just at the very end, Tez obviously doing the backflip. Do you get nervous at all as a coach, seeing players take unnecessary risks, potentially him coming off injury or anything like that? Or you just kind of
I didn't see the backflip, but I'll make sure I address it with him. I would have done one with him if I knew he was doing it.
Thanks, Phil. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good one.